Listen carefully, because something changes the moment a person stops treating truth like a possibility and starts recognizing it as certainty. Before this, in stage 1, step 7, you began to notice that not every path leads to the same destination. You started seeing the difference between paths that slowly empty the soul and paths that quietly strengthen it. But now, you are entering stage 2, step 1. And this step is different, because this is where uncertainty begins to break. Most people move through life surrounded by noise, endless opinions, endless distractions, endless versions of reality competing for attention. One person says fulfillment comes from success. Another says it comes from freedom. Another says nothing matters at all. And over time, the human mind becomes exhausted, trying to decide what is actually true. At first, this confusion feels normal. People adapt to it. They begin treating uncertainty as intelligence and certainty as weakness. But deep inside, something continues searching for stability, because the human soul was never designed to live permanently, divided between endless contradictions. There are moments where you feel this conflict clearly, times when you consume more information, more advice, more perspectives, yet somehow feel further away from clarity instead of closer to it. The more noise enters the mind, the harder it becomes to hear what is real. And then something unexpected happens. A person encounters a truth that does not feel unstable. It does not shift according to trends, emotions, or social approval. It carries a different weight, not because it forces itself upon you, but because something within you immediately recognizes its consistency. This is where stage 2, step 1 begins, not when a person knows everything, but when they stop treating truth as random. Because there is a difference between information and guidance. Information fills the mind. Guidance reorganizes the person. Have you noticed how certain words continue returning to you throughout life? Sometimes through conversations, sometimes through experiences, sometimes through moments of deep reflection where something suddenly feels undeniable. It is as if your awareness keeps being redirected toward the same center, no matter how far you move away from it. This happens because the soul recognizes coherence before the mind fully understands it. When something is truly aligned with reality, it creates internal stability instead of confusion. It simplifies instead of scattering. It grounds instead of overwhelming. People often believe guidance appears as something dramatic, but most of the time it arrives quietly. A realization, a sentence that lingers in the mind for years, a truth that keeps returning even after being ignored, not because it is chasing you, but because it belongs to the deepest part of your awareness. There is also a reason why some people can hear truth repeatedly, yet remain untouched by it, because guidance is not only about exposure, it is about openness. Two people can stand in front of the same reality, while only one truly sees it. The difference is not intelligence, it is sincerity. Now in stage 2, step 1, you begin to understand that certainty is not blindness. Real certainty does not close the mind. It stabilizes it. It removes endless internal conflict and allows a person to move with direction instead of permanent confusion. Think about the moments where you felt internally exhausted from trying to build your life on constantly changing ideas. One day something feels right. The next day, it collapses. One belief replaces another. One pursuit replaces another. Yet peace never fully arrives. That exhaustion is not accidental. It is what happens when the soul searches for permanence inside temporary things. But there are truths that do not collapse when circumstances change. Truths that remain stable whether a person is rich or poor, comfortable or struggling, praised or rejected. And when a person finally encounters something that carries this level of consistency, doubt begins to lose its power. This is why guidance feels different from ordinary information, because guidance does not merely answer questions. It changes the structure of the person receiving it. It creates awareness responsibility, and direction all at once. This is the book. There is no doubt about it. A guide for those mindful of Allah. Not just as words, but as a reality many people quietly experience before fully understanding it. There are moments where something inside you already knows that truth cannot endlessly contradict itself, that real guidance must come from a source beyond human confusion, beyond temporary trends, beyond changing desires. And every time you felt pulled back toward clarity instead of chaos, you were already moving closer to this realization. This statement was revealed by Allah to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as certainty for those sincerely searching for direction. Not certainty built on blind emotion, but certainty that continues proving itself through awareness, reflection, and lived experience. And if this message has reached you, then somewhere in your life you have already encountered this truth in some form. You heard it, reflected on it, or felt its effect deeply enough for it to leave a mark within you. That is why these words feel familiar instead of distant. It doesn't matter what religion you belong from. You are not here accidentally. You are here because your soul is capable of recognizing truth when it reaches you. And if you truly want to arrive at your right place in this life and in the hereafter, then bear witness that there is no God but one, the only true authority worthy of worship, and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his final messenger. This is your invitation to move beyond endless confusion and step into clarity, direction, and real guidance. If you are ready to begin your true journey, then accept the call and move forward with awareness.